Now, this is a huge series for Arizona. They're still very much in the wild card hunt. They're only 4.5 games back, but the talk of the town is the return of Christian Walker, who spent 8 seasons with the Diamondbacks. And after a controversial goal that tied the game for Team Black with seconds left on the clock, the game went to a shootout, where Josh Doan scored the game-winning goal. But the tail of the tape was a different type of shootout. And although Jackson didn't participate in the skills combine, he still has one ASU teammate that's looking to solidify his future. Okay, I don't want to draw too many conclusions, but we can speculate a little bit. ASU's Colin Potter's probably going to get drafted late in the first round of the NHL draft this weekend. Now, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they don't have a pick till pick number 64, okay? And they lack prospect depth. So I was actually talking to Shane Doan, who works for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is what he had to say about the 5'10" left winger.
You'd have to say he's probably the best skater in the draft. The kid can fly. I know he's competitive. Haley Wickenheiser and I have talked about his mom a few times. She got to play against her, and he's competitive, hardworking, and the kid played as a 17-year-old in the NCAA. That's pretty special. He's going to go high.
It's important to remember that Haley Wickenheiser is an assistant general manager with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So clearly conversations about Potter behind closed doors are happening. Now, there is an Arizona connection. Austin Matthews is the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Matthew Nyes also plays for the Leafs as well. So what I'm saying is, could the Toronto Maple Leafs trade into the first round and draft Colin Potter? As the Arizona Diamondbacks chase down their fleeting October dreams, a familiar face returns to the desert, but this time donning a different set of threads. And it's now or never for the Snakes. Fresh off a series sweep versus the St. Louis Cardinals, the D-backs feel they still have a shot at the postseason as they host the Houston Astros.
Yeah, regardless of how the season has gone, I think there's been a lot of great bonds and relationships in here, and so we're going to try and ride this out.
Now, this is a huge series for Arizona. They're still very much in the wild card hunt. They're only 4.5 games back, but the talk of the town is the return of Christian Walker, who spent 8 seasons with the Diamondbacks.
But I think mostly excited about just seeing the guys. I've kept in touch with a few of them over the course of the year, but to be able to, give some hugs and shake some hands of people I haven't seen in a while would be good.
Walker's time in the desert was nothing short of spectacular, including a storybook trip to the World Series in 2023. But the sluggy first baseman signed a 3-year, $60 million contract with the Astros this past offseason. And his former manager was happy to see him back.
And it's just nice to have him back in the building. Hopefully he takes a couple, 3 days off, and we pitch him well, and we can get him out of here as soon as possible.
And of course, Walker did exactly the opposite, going 6 for 14. He also drove in the winning run in Game 3 of the series to complete the sweep for the Astros. And for the D-backs, if they want to keep their postseason hopes alive, the push starts now. In Phoenix, Koby Mitchell, Cronkite News. For the 3rd year in a row, the MLB Draft Combine was held right here in Phoenix. 322 players took part, and some of ASU's brightest stars were in attendance.
Just getting in front of the guys making the decisions, just getting the face to the name, and just telling them the last month or so of the season wasn't a fluke. It was what I can be and potentially be for you guys as a franchise. So
we get to perform in front of all the teams that are here, and then just meeting all the other talent that's around the country, kind of coming into one spot. It's kind of, we're all, I feel like, bringing each other up, and so rising to each other's competition, and it's a great spot, and it's a great opportunity to really showcase what we've got.
And the balls were flying off the bat for Brandon Compton. The Buckeye native put on a show at the plate, and the top 50 prospect hit the hardest hit ball in BP since 2022 at 116 miles per hour off the bat. But it wasn't just Compton who was catching attention.
everybody here is important. So if you're walking through the halls upstairs or down here, you're gonna meet somebody. I just walked in the dugout, said what up to Rajay Davis. Manny Ramirez just walking by. I'm just like, this is pretty cool. So.
And although Jackson didn't participate in the skills combine, he still has one ASU teammate that's looking to solidify his future.
I'm preferably go to the draft and play some pro ball next year, but if that doesn't work out, then I'll spend my last year at Arizona State and try to do it all over again.
The lights were bright and the bats were loud, and for baseball's next wave, the moment is now. In Phoenix, Koby Mitchell, Cronkite News. After more than 40 years in Arizona high school athletics and nearly 2 decades, the Arizona Interscholastic Association Executive Director David Hines is stepping down. But before he does, He sat down with Cronkite News reporter Jessica Poole to reflect on the legacy he leaves behind. For the 19th time in program history, the Arizona Wildcats are heading to Omaha for the College World Series. A battle between East versus West, the University of Arizona is set to face off against Coastal Carolina in the first round of the series. This will be a match from 9 years ago when Coastal Carolina beat the Wildcats to win it all. Game 1 is set for Friday afternoon in Omaha. Picking up on the bottom of the 11th, tied at 4. The bases are juiced for Naylor, and he takes Carlos Vargas' offering deep to right for the walk-off grand slam. Now that's Naylor's first grand slam with the Diamondbacks and his 8th homer of the season, giving the D-backs a much-needed win in extra innings. Naylor's walk-off helped the Diamondbacks snap a 3-game losing skid with the 8-4 win. The D-backs will face the Mariners tonight in the second game of the series.
Welcome to America One.
Sure, we all know goalies are a little weird, but going from slap shots to showings, now that's a plot twist.
There's a giveaway. Jones, what a save by Eddie Lack.
And after a 5-year career in the National Hockey League, that included some signature moments,
Canucks win.
Eddie Lack has gone from the crease to the keys.
You thought you were going to learn about hockey.
And for Lack, there isn't a whole lot of looking back.
I knew, because I heard myself in warm-up before my last game, and I was just like, I knew when I was driving home from that game that I'd played my last game.
That isn't to say the transition from goal line saves at the back door
And a shot by Erickson to stop. Rebound, Paye. What a save by Lack.
to slamming the door on deals was seamless.
It is very different in terms of hockey. You just like work mostly with your body, right? Compared to here, like it's more with my brain. Bathroom with very large vanities.
But like riding a bike, or in this case, the 2-pad stack, Eddie's transition to luxury real estate came naturally.
I've always been interested in real estate, and I was investing in real estate while I was still playing. So it's definitely something that I was still like thinking that I was going to do in like some capacity.
But not without some coaching along the way.
Eddie pretty much squatted in my office initially. Now I think he spends more time in my office than I do. He's not the tidiest, so I mean, I guess the Swedish are not as organized as the Germans, but that's okay.
Max and Patrick just started, I don't know, like 3 years before me maybe, and they've always kind of like set my goals for me because I've always wanted to be like them, you know what I mean?
Eddie's team makes around 30 to 40 transactions per year, and Eddie himself has sold over $200 million in real estate. And he has about 10 investors that makes all of this possible.
He's doing a lot bigger projects, he's managing a lot more investors and creating those relationships, which I've always kind of respected because they're very genuine, and Eddie is Eddie through and through all the time.
Hockey gave him a platform. Real estate gave him the next chapter.
I'm thankful for my past, but I'm also excited about the future.
From blocker saves to blockbuster sales,
That's what number one goalies do is.
Lack's second act is just as sharp as his first. In Scottsdale, Koby Mitchell, Cronkite News.